Only two countries sent ambassadors to King Peter's coronation: Russia, Serbia's greatest ally, and Austria, her greatest enemy. Dmitrievich was also one of the founding members of the Black Hand, a secret military society that used terrorism and assassination to try and establish Yugoslavia. He is said to have sent men to murder Austro-Hungarian military leaders and cabinet ministers. He allegedly tried to kill Emperor Franz Joseph.
One saw him nowhere, yet one knew that he was doing everything.
By the spring of 1914, Gavrilo Princip was also in Belgrade, talking revolution with his friends. Then the young Bosnians heard that Archduke Franz Ferdinand would visit Sarajevo in June. Here was their chance to match deeds to words. Luckily for them, their plans reached the ears of Dmitrievich and the Black Hand. Dmitrievich worked in the Kalemegdan fortress in Belgrade as chief of Serbian military intelligence. In the spring of 1914, Major Voja Tankasic, also in the Black Hand, walked into his office with a question.
I've got some Bosnian youths pestering me. These kids want to pull off some great deed at any cost. They've heard that Franz Ferdinand is coming to Bosnia and have begged me to let them go there. What do you say? I've told them they cannot go, but they give me no peace.
Franz Ferdinand was going to Bosnia to observe the Austro-Hungarian army's maneuvers in the hills outside Sarajevo. As intelligence chief, Dmitrievich feared these maneuvers were a smokescreen, that what Franz Ferdinand really planned was an invasion of Serbia. As leader of the Black Hand, he believed anything that destabilized Austria-Hungary was good for his beloved Serbia. Princip's plan to murder Franz Ferdinand suited him perfectly. Fine, he said. Let him go. Unlike Gavrilo Princip, Archduke Franz Ferdinand was an excellent shot. One of his castles, Konopisht, in what is now the Czech Republic, is full of the evidence. By the age of 50, he'd shot 5,000 stags, as well as 200,000 other animals, all carefully numbered.
Anyone who disturbed the Archduke's peace at Konopisht by trespassing on his land, as unsuspecting trippers sometimes did on Sundays, had to reckon with being shouted at by an irascible and almost apoplectic proprietor, who threatened to shoot anyone who dared set foot in his grounds a second time.
By 1914, Franz Ferdinand was emperor in waiting. Everyone knew it couldn't be long before his uncle died. Even the official portrait was ready, Franz Ferdinand with the stars and sash only the emperor could wear. He had no time for the etiquette and convention that hemmed in the Vienna court. He defied his uncle by marrying Sophie Hotek, who was not of royal blood.
The most intelligent thing I've ever done in my life has been the marriage to my Soph. She is everything to me. My wife, my advisor, my doctor, my guardian angel. In a word, my entire happiness. Franz Ferdinand also had radical ideas for political reform.
He recognized that the less power national minorities had within the empire, the more they'd look to other countries for help. The old system allowed ethnic Germans and Hungarians to dominate the government. It was a system that couldn't last.
I can't help being surprised that there is any loyalty left among the nationalities after their treatment for so many years past. I must have them with me. This is the only salvation for the future.
In 1914, the German emperor came to stay with Franz Ferdinand at Konopisht. The Kaiser had a simple solution for dealing with troublesome national minorities.
The Slavs are born not to rule, but to obey. This must be brought home to them. And if they imagine they can look to Belgrade for their salvation, they must be cured of this belief.
But Franz Ferdinand had a better idea. He thought political reform was the best way to keep the multinational Austrian Empire on its feet and protect his own future as emperor. He had this map drawn up, showing how the Habsburg Empire could become the United States of Great Austria. Above all, Franz Ferdinand wanted to avoid war in the Balkans. One night, he made a toast after dinner.
To peace. What would we get out of war with Serbia? We'd lose the lives of young men, and we'd spend money better used elsewhere. And what would we gain, for heaven's sake? A few plum trees, some pastures full of goat droppings, and a bunch of rebellious killers.
Gavrilo Princip crossed the border from Serbia into Austria-Hungary here at the Drina River. He paddled out to Isakovic Island, where there was a Serbian guard post. The soldiers helped him wade ashore into Bosnia. From here, he made his way to Sarajevo, where he met up with 6 others in on the plot. The Serbian Major Tankasic had supplied them with 4 pistols, 6 bombs, and suicide pills in case of capture. They were already in Sarajevo when Franz Ferdinand arrived outside the capital on the 25th of June. They planned to attack him 3 days later as he drove from the railway station to the town hall. One would be stationed at the first bridge on this road. Princip and the others would cover the rest of the route. Franz Ferdinand chose the date of his visit badly. Sarajevo was decked in flags for the occasion, but the 28th of June was Serbian National Day, a natural focus for hatred of the Habsburgs, as the Serbian ambassador to Vienna warned.
This will cause much discontent. Some young Serb might put a live round rather than a blank in his gun and fire it. Therefore, it might be good if Archduke Franz Ferdinand were not to go to Sarajevo.
But the Austrians laughed off the ambassador's fears. On the morning of the 28th of June, Franz Ferdinand and Sophie arrived by train in Sarajevo. Despite the warnings, security was light. No soldiers lined the streets, just a handful of policemen. The royal car was a Greifenstift Tourer. At Franz Ferdinand's request, it travelled with the top down, very slowly, so the crowds could see him and he could see the sights. As the procession passed the first bridge, the conspirator there threw his bomb. Sitting opposite the royal couple was Oskar Potiorek.
The explosion came immediately after the Archduchess's cry to drive on quickly. I was sure no damage had been done to our car, and the Archduke commented very calmly, "I've always thought something like this might happen."
The bomb had bounced off the car, exploding behind it and wounding 2 officers and some onlookers. Franz Ferdinand stopped to ask after the casualties, before hurrying on to the town hall. There, the mayor of Sarajevo began his official welcome speech. The Archduke interrupted.
Lord Mayor, what is the good of your speeches? I come to Sarajevo on a friendly visit and someone throws a bomb at me. This is outrageous.
So far, the young Bosnian's plans had gone badly wrong. Franz Ferdinand was alive, official security was now on high alert. Gavrilo Princip turned to go home, stopping on the corner of Franz Joseph Street to buy a sandwich. Then his luck changed. Franz Ferdinand had left the town hall. He should have been driven straight along the river, travelling too fast to give any other assassins a chance. But his driver took a wrong turn at the corner of Franz Joseph Street